very perseverant with the things that you want, nothing will come knocking on your door.
Different kinds of events besides just the fireside chat monthly. This is a monthly gathering. And so so when it comes to volunteers, we'll be doing other programs. And so if you want to get involved and be part of that, that would be your opportunity for that. Once a month to be inspired and connect and educate. And so you have in amongst this group, you have startups. People who are thinking about a startup. People who are doing a startup. Maybe thinking about doing investing. But they're also, especially if you invite your friends, people from maybe fields you don't really expect to have.
For having me, and thank you for every single person who's here tonight. It really means a lot, and we'll make it a spectacular night.
Yes. Tell us a little bit about what is just a high level about Blossom and the name.
So to go into a little bit about Blossom and even the name Blossom. If you don't mind, I'll take a few steps back. So I'm one of the untraditional stories. I did not major in business, nor marketing, nor was it, finance. I studied cognitive neuroscience at the University of California, San Diego. And for a long and large portion of my life, I thought I was going to go into research and science. And there's still that possibility. But from the move back from California to Saudi, us as well. And the reason why I have to give this backstory is a lot of people ask me oh my God, you were doing something so scientific. How did it go from all the way there to where you are here? And actually, I think an important mention to anyone who's coming from a different background is the more you learn about a particular discipline, the more you realize how much it relates to the next one. I encourage every single one to get into the software development group or learn some basic skills or enough to get into the industry. And anyone can get into it. It's never too late, you're not too old or too young or whatever your background is, anyone can do it.
That's something to read.
And that's when you really see what works and what doesn't work. And when something doesn't work, that's totally fine. That's when you pivot. You will always be pivoting. It's time to pivot, and that's totally fine. That's what entrepreneurs should do. It's not a failure. It's you being adaptive. It's you being agile. And as humans in any industry, if you're not agile, it'll kill you. The industry, your business will fail. For me in particular, starting out young and starting out from a background that wasn't immediately known as relevant, I was undermined very quickly. But turned it into a positive because I was great, I'm just gonna take this energy that's coming my way, and here I go, world, just watch me. You have your thoughts on your side, and I just got time. So with time, you will become a believer. And I think whatever the challenge is, there will always be challenges. It's about perseverance. My mom always tells me, persevere, persevere, persevere. And along the way of persevering, if you have to pivot, do so. And stick to your gut. There's different ways, right? For me, sometimes it's just gathering myself in silence, taking a few minutes. And this happens not in one day. So don't imagine this case scenario where it's it's a Friday, and I'm not getting emails on this day. Therefore, this will be the day that I'll be able to just reflect silently while going to the gym or listen to music. No, it's definitely a process of oh, I got this comment, this person's not buying anymore, social media is not working anymore, oh, that's not doing well as well, that's not doing well either. And then over time, you have to always, your mind has to be open to accept, I'm open, always have that mentality, I'm open. Teach me, world, what is it that I might be doing wrong? Direct me in that direction. And if you're listening, you'll understand. But sometimes you can just take a paper and draw 4 quadrants like the heart and look at what you've accomplished thus far, where you want to go, what are the challenges, and how are ways you can overcome those challenges. And just keep going. Studies that companies that have at least one woman on the team, whether on the advisory board position, in the founding members, tend to do better. Meaning, they tend to produce more profitable results, higher margins, more successful. And I absolutely do not think that's because women are better than men. No. I think it's because women were working with men. It was about the importance of diversity and inclusion, bringing the different skill sets, bringing, the way you do things, maybe you're a testing.
What are the programs that seem to be working best? If I can ask you, what areas do you think need to be improved based on your experience?
Absolutely. So I feel like I don't need to tell you too much about how Saudi is changing because we're seeing so much of it. But I think some of the challenges are I think entrepreneurs still need more support. I see that the majority of entrepreneurs that get support, I've always thought I wanted to build something amazing and do something impactful and actually move people's lives. And so if I want to stay motivated, I go back and I say, well, how many people's lives have I impacted this year, this past month, this past day? And then I realize, oh my gosh, I'm so far behind. There's so many more people I can reach and I need to reach. And that usually helps.
How do you handle failure? These questions are not related, I think.
How do I handle failure? Well, honestly, there is like a day or two where I'm like, oh my God, I hate everything. I'm horrible, blah. Literally, maybe you guys can relate. And then at that one point, okay, snap out of it. I talk to myself. So like, snap out of it, Emon. You just have to keep pushing. Fail fast. Fail, go through it, be sad for a few days, and I handle failure by going through that process, forcing myself to pick myself back up and just keep pushing.
What's your favorite marketing hack?
Events, attending events. It actually, for any of you going to events or if you have the opportunity to speak at events, I actually see that the reaction of offline to online, that translates the best. That translates the best because you have the human interaction and people actually up close get to see who you are. There's less assumptions being made, so that would be one of my favorite.
When it comes to partnership, partner or no partner?
Absolutely partner. And even though I don't have, I'm a solo founder, so I don't have partners, I always advocate for having partners. And it's because entrepreneurship is so hard. Creating a successful startup, something sustainable and scalable and impactful is very difficult. And having a team member who's different than you in skill set, in mind thinking, will be very complementary and will add to your success of a better rate of you doing something amazing. Okay, we really want to do this. Let's work together for 3 to 6 months and let's evaluate.
So a test. So it's all about. So I think one of the themes that tonight is the importance of iterations and testing all throughout the entire.
I need you all to stalk, steal, and lie. And what I mean by that, stalk, be very perseverant with the things that you want. Nothing on your door. Steal every single opportunity that comes your way. Likely, it will only come once. Have your eyes peeled back, your ears open, and grasp on it, and keep following up. And lastly, you feel that you cannot anymore, you're burnt out, it's so hard. Lie to yourself and say, no, it's great, and I'm gonna just keep at it, and this is normal, and it will become a success. Favorite quote? By Eleanor Roosevelt. I went to Eleanor Roosevelt College at UC San Diego. UC San Diego had 6 colleges. I went to ERC. I'm super proud of it. I love Eleanor Roosevelt. She said, small minds discuss people. Medium-sized minds discuss events. Great minds discuss ideas. Roosevelt. She said, small minds discuss people. Medium-sized minds discuss events. Great minds discuss ideas. Please go home tonight in your next dinner with your family. Don't discuss people, who wore that, who went there, vacation. Don't discuss events. We love Startup Grind, but you know what I mean. Don't discuss ideas.
It's about the ideas that we generate here. So that was an excellent way to end this portion, the first portion. Let's.
You can make people believe in entrepreneurship, especially with nowadays, especially the young now, the generation, how to make them convinced with this ideas. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think it's 2 things. You have to have patience. creating a community of people who will believe in entrepreneurship is not something that will happen overnight. I'm sure Aaron can attest to that with even doing so many events like Up Grind. I think it's monthly, right? So I think it's having patience for it to grow. Don't have this expectation that it's going to happen next month or even next year or maybe even the next 5 years. If you're in this journey of entrepreneurship and you want to get more people on board, it's going to be a lifelong journey. That's why. Because we literally just Google best books to read for startup entrepreneurship, read the books. Put on your calendar at least one event to go to every month if you want to be crazy every week. And start surrounding yourself with people who talk entrepreneurship or building startups. You will then feel like, oh yeah, the startup community is great. Everyone around me is doing startups. It'll help you grow and blossom much faster.
How do you basically help them make the right financial decision for themselves that is in their interest? Because down the line they might realize that the capital structure or the team structure was not in their best interest. Do you have any framework or?
Absolutely. In the beginning, I would say do not be very conservative with your money and don't just go and spend all this money. I mean, if you can, instead of spending it on outsourcing a technology, I would find local talent that will be co-founders or partners with you. Keep it really at minimum, especially because you don't know if this is going to work or not. No matter how bright you are, brilliant or motivated, sometimes the actual ecosystem, maybe what you're building, it's too early for it. So we always say, you can test it out with a page on Facebook. You can test your idea with an Instagram account. You can do surveys. You can come up with a minimum viable product, MVP, which usually costs the least. So we see sometimes people invest in the very beginning, 5,000 to 10,000 on something. Using these websites online where they can build, a dummy application, something that it gets users to understand what it is without you having to spend all this money. And usually, within the next 3 months, they're like, oh, this is a really bad idea. I'm really happy I only spent, 5 to 10K on it. So that's the number one thing. And then if you're looking for investment, I would say try to stay bootstrapped the longest. And bootstrapped is really when you are continuously funding yourself. I would say only take investment once you really need investment.
I would suggest Googling the term affordable boss. Yeah.
In terms of the investment, with everything that's happening, like going on with the economy and everything, do you feel like there was a decline when you started? Like, do you feel like you started in the wrong time? Or do you feel like because of what's happening, it helped you avoid this?
In a weird way, I think I started in a very fabulous time. There were pros and cons to it, so it wasn't nice all the time. So for example, we operate off sponsors and funders. And when the economy took a hit, marketing departments and CSR departments, that's usually the first budgets that get cut. But then at the same time, we also started at a time where the ecosystem was still underdeveloped. So there was so much space and room to do so many things that are fabulous. And because it was such a cutthroat economy or community, because so many of the budgets were being cut, we really had to be the best if we wanted to sell and get sponsors to get on board. And we learned that way. Is it a good time to start business? I think it's gotten better in the last 2 years, actually. And I definitely encourage someone to start business now. But start يعني على مهلك خطوة خطوة. So start step by step. And usually that way you'll learn a lot and you'll minimize the amount of errors, regardless of the economy.
Someone has an idea, whether it be tech or non-tech, what are the ways or the steps that you take in order to get to know the market better, to research the market, to see if you have a demand for it? And the second question is, you also mentioned that you like to listen to podcasts. So I would like to know what are some of your favorite podcasts or something.
The question is talk to people. As an entrepreneur, you have to become a people's person, even if you're an introvert. And you guys will be surprised, I'm actually introverted, but I come across a lot as extroverted. But I find the most energy when I'm recovering alone and reading, in my room alone, just doing my own thing. But as an entrepreneur, you can't do that for too long. Be up on your feet, going to events, talking to people, and once you talk to people, don't just talk to them. Can I get coffee with you? I want to run by you my idea, get feedback, get feedback, get feedback. I can't give you a number and say, by the time you reach the 50th person, that's when you know. It's sometimes you just know, and you just have to, if you don't know yet, keep talking to people. And in that whole establishment, whether you did the idea or not, you created a huge, valuable new network. Favorite podcasts, there's a few, but I would really recommend everything Gary Vee. I'm a huge fan of Gary Vee, so I would start there. There are a few others as well that I can also give you, but sometimes, as I was mentioning, because I'm an auditory, that's how I learn by auditory, I buy a lot of audiobooks, and I've listened to them or played them in the car, so constantly my mind is getting, everything off.
Blossom in just one sentence down the line for any of the new people who see that, what vision or idea they're going to have. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Blossom is a female-focused accelerator focusing on enabling women and entrepreneurs in the technology sector. At Blossom, we believe women don't just drive cars. No, we drive economies. If you're in an elevator for 60 seconds or 30 seconds with someone, you have to be able to tell them what you do really quickly. So that's what I did. That's what I did for my elevator pitch.
They have skills that I'm not picking on anyone, but they have this mindset of what if you're gonna steal my idea. I think it's serious.
First of all, realize that the idea is actually 1%, and 99% is the execution. But it's impossible that the idea that you've thought of, no one on earth except of you has thought of. Only you, the gifted one. And then, like a movie, the light will shine on you. And therefore, it really depends on your network, how strong the team is, how diligent you are to actually execute this. And I would actually do the opposite. I would share my idea with people and I would get their feedback. And if someone was able to steal my idea so quickly or hear what I did and execute it so well, well then honestly, it wasn't that good of an idea anyway. And that is the honest truth. And we need to move away from that mindset. It's dangerous.
It has to do more with humanitarian and the psychology of people. And a lot of times it's very difficult to actually make that high tech. My question is, when you have a service that you can give, but it's more into a one-to-one, how do you make that high tech and to integrate it to the 21st century?
Absolutely. I would partner with a developer and I would put everything you're doing, all your content online. And I would make it the most basic first iteration of the website. What do you need? You need one button, and even don't make payment online first. Do first, cash when they come to maybe the course, but make it first online on the website. That way you can capture your data more. You can link it to the social media. You can get more stuff done quicker. So that's what I'll do. Either partner with someone or find someone who's a fresh graduate from college and is looking to develop, because they'll be able to develop that kind of website for you at a low cost. Yeah.
But it's not
evolving,
only
software is also evolving. So there's a meetup called Jeddah Software Developers. It's more than 1,700 people. I think by tonight there'll be more. So what we do is that we get you inside coding, we do workshops, we get your hands dirty with code and the technical part of software development. We are a partner with StartUp Grind, and I would want you to look us up on Meetup, and we are going to have events where you come with your ideas, we walk you through with technologies, and then whatever you like, you can choose. We are there to mentor you. Maybe you like so many different stuff. So it's like a process, and the sky is the limit.
Start, right? How do you start that first thing, that first idea?
Usually it's something you're struggling with yourself, or maybe someone close to you is struggling with. And that being able to relate to the problem firsthand keeps you motivated to want to solve it, sort of stuff. So it's always, when I'm thinking about ideas, companies in the future, it's always things that I'm passionate about, things that move me. And there's always a community around, a niche community around what I care about. So it's about asking yourself, what is that for you? Right, yeah. And then how to stick to the final idea. I think there's no, this is the moment, but you will go, as you go through it, you'll see the challenges and you'll be able to weigh if it's worth it for you. To partner with and say, hey, I might not be here in 6 months. Now, if you're leaving the day after tomorrow, I would say don't start something here. If there's an opportunity for you to build something unique, different, that inspires you, that you're passionate about in a country that's very unique in entrepreneurship, then of course do it. You'll gain if everything else fails, you will have gained expertise, knowledge, network. You will have lived beyond whatever else that's routine in your life. So I would say, expats, go ahead and do it. I know SAGIA, Saudi Arabian General Investment Authority, has something called the Entrepreneurship License. There's different workshops. They give accelerators on how we can help expats actually, be able to build technologies, and if they'd like to stay longer in the kingdom. You want to say a few words?
Are you a?
Yes.
Okay. So
yes. So we can also help with that as well, and absolutely start. What do you have to lose? Nothing. And you can start something very small. You don't have to spend too much or anything. You won't have anything. For me, if you went into an incubator accelerator and you broke up with a partner, because it's like a marriage.
It is a marriage.
Really, guys, it is. If it didn't work out, well then now you know.